Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Urban Update. I am Alberto Vasallo. And on the show this morning, Noche Latina with the Boston Celtics' second annual event. We'll give you a little preview of this Wednesday night's game and the festivities over at TD Garden. We'll also discuss climate change in Massachusetts and talk about two current state house proposals that could prove to be crucial for a cleaner energy future for Massachusetts. But up first, are you feeling the burn? Although Hillary Clinton narrowly beat out Bernie Sanders earlier this week here in Massachusetts, nationwide polls still indicate that for a growing number of young and black voters, they certainly are feeling the burn. So while older black voters are still a strong voting bloc for Hillary, young black adults, energized by groups like Black Lives Matters, have gravitated toward the 74-year-old white Jewish man from Brooklyn. Now, Bernie Sanders has indeed resonated with younger voters. Of that, there is no argument. And the fact that nearly half of Hispanics eligible to vote are millennials. So the writing is clear. For Bernie to even have a chance, young people of all colors must come out to vote. Now, to help us have a better sense of what it is about Bernie Sanders that is resonating with younger voters, we've actually invited three who are supporting Sanders. So now we welcome Jared Hicks, Marielena Toro, and Ryan Midden. So Ryan, I'm going to take a little liberty here and call you a young voter. Is that okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just make sure you don't get offended.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay. So
call you a young host.
Yeah,
How about that?
Good deal. That's it. Right there. I like this guy already. Yeah. All right. So let's get right to it. Yeah. So I'm going to start with you. So what's got you all pumped up about Bernie Sanders?
Well, I grew up in Vermont, so I've known the name for a long time, long before I was a presidential candidate. When he was mayor of Burlington to when he became a senator for the state. So it was a bit of a household name just growing up in Vermont. But as the candidacy grew and that idea and that kind of word coming out that Bernie was running, the big issue for me was really money out of politics. It was something that I had kind of previously been really passionate about and spent a lot of time kind of thinking about and researching, and it was really something topical. So this idea of money out of politics and the citizens owning the candidate and funding the candidate versus the corporations, and making that distinction and making sure that the citizens control these people and not corporations. That was really the big red flag for me that stood out.
So far,
yeah,
others.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I'm going to go to you, young lady, because you mentioned off camera that you were also involved in the Obama when you were just 19. Here it is 4 years later. How enthusiastic are you about Bernie, and what's drawn you to him?
So like I mentioned off camera, I was very enthusiastic about Obama's second term. I felt like it really solidified and legitimized us voting him in the first time, and I feel like we need to have Bernie, follow him and succeed after him, because obviously, having somebody who has sort of fascist, messages would probably delegitimize Obama's legacy.
Okay. Now, you, young man, is your first time you actually work in a campaign. And how old are you?
25.
25. Okay. So, take it. What's gotten you so pumped up?
First and foremost, thank you very much, and everyone here, for this opportunity. And I have to give a shout out to my Uncle Brian, because he'd be very upset with me otherwise. To answer your question, Bernie Sanders is the genuine article. He's the real deal. He walks the walk. And I respect his honesty, his integrity, and the way he conducts himself and the way he handles politics. He has been fighting an uphill battle against the Clinton machine, and yet he has had so much success because he's been on the right side of every issue his entire career, whether it's workers' rights, gay rights, women's rights. He has been there at the forefront, civil rights, and he's a progressive champion, and I believe in his message.
All right, so, we've already cast our vote, with Super Tuesday, and as I mentioned, this close, right? This close. What are you guys going to continue to do, either it's social media or continue to campaign? Because I feel that you guys are just as energized as you were maybe a week before Super Tuesday. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think stuff like what Jared's doing, like people actually out there working for the campaign, and the amount of volunteers is really amazing. I think there's a big gap, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, of the people that are active on social media and the people that actually go out and go to the polling place. Like there seems to be a disparity there, and I think that's a big challenge with young people, whether it's getting to an event or getting them to vote for president. So there's a lot of talk that you can do from your phone or your computer, but actually getting out there in the vote and being involved, like what Jared's doing, getting a better understanding of how this works, how politics work. What are these key dates that you need to be a part of? What information do you need to know? And having people out there sharing this information and answering questions. I'm sure everyone, even the most informed people, have questions about the basics. I mean, it's a very complicated system.
I have questions about some of the older folks in your lives, maybe your parents, uncles, teachers. I mean, have you found that, it's funny because he's a 74-year-old guy and you've got all these young people excited. How about some of the older people in your lives? Are they in agreement with what you're saying? Maybe they think a little bit different?
I actually haven't had a chance to speak with my father this election season about his presidential preference for the nomination, but I know that my mom is with me, feels the burn, and she's really excited about a lot of his ideas and the hope that he injects into, our communities.
Very good. How about yourself? How about you and your friends? I mean,
Oh, well, my friends are all feeling the burn. I mean,
Yeah?
the vast majority, even people that were, formerly libertarian or had other leanings, they've come over to this side because they see the energy it generates and they know why.
all right. Well, we mentioned, you lost just by a little bit here in Massachusetts, so I'm going to kind of give you this hypothetical. What happens if your desire does not happen? Bernie comes in second and Hillary takes a nomination for the party. Are you now switching? What's your plan B? Would you support a Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, I mean, I was excited that Hillary was running in general. When that announcement came through, I was very excited about it. I don't get nearly as excited about Hillary as I do about Bernie and just the enthusiasm. But yeah, I am a Hillary
How about you
supporter.
guys? You guys, it seemed like you've got a lot of vested interests.
I feel very heavily invested in Bernie and his ideas and what he wants to propose and the bar he wants to set legislatively. But, ultimately, if he doesn't win the nomination, yes, I would vote for Hillary.
How about you, Jared?
Well, Bernie's got the winning message, and there is an enthusiasm gap. I don't know if I would volunteer for Hillary's campaign the way I have so earnestly. We were knocking on doors, making phone calls. I was here, I was in New Hampshire. We went to the rallies. We did everything we could. We put out signs, and we were there. We were at the offices. We were invested. We were at the party. And if, given that choice, I would support Hillary over any of the Republicans.
Well, and I was going to get to that. So there's no chance of any of you guys then even considering any of the Republicans, right?
No.
Nothing?
That'd be a pretty extraordinary situation to go that, but no, not right now.
So what do you guys very briefly think of this phenomenon happening on the other side? So we call it the Bernie Sanders phenomenon on the Democratic side, but you can't not talk about the Donald Trump craziness that some people call it. Other people really like it. What's your quick feeling on the Trump candidacy?
Well, ultimately, this election is about what kind of country we want to live in. Do we want a fair and just society that lifts everyone up, that expands and protects rights, or do we want to disparage and divide people and prey on their fears and anger rather than channel angst and anxiety and frustration that people have in a positive way, the way Sanders is? So, Trump is a disgrace. And I wish people weren't entertaining the notion, but I understand the establishment has failed people, let them down, and now they're, going against the grain.
What do you, I mean, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but when you see a Trump supporter, does anything come to mind? I mean, this is a free country. We all have different opinions, and it's really crazy. I mean, he's got support from a lot of different folks that you didn't think in the beginning would actually do that. But how about you? What are your feelings?
So that's an interesting question. We all know a Trump supporter, I think, but I just feel like when it comes down to it, if you can support somebody who supports a lot of the things that Donald Trump is proposing, we probably, I don't want to say shouldn't be friends, but I think those are very strong viewpoints that will take our country back and not the best for America.
All right, well, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. It's been interesting. I want to kind of get a little perspective on some of the younger people. He loves that. He's loving that.
Keeping it.
But thank you, and good, keep it up. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. All right. When we return, we're going to turn the discussion. We'll turn it to climate change in Massachusetts, right here on Urban Update.